All right, welcome to Friday, everybody. We've survived the week. I don't know about you, but my week was actually a step in the right direction compared to some of my prior weeks here, especially over the last 3 months. I tell you, it was a fairly tame, positive week. Um, I hope everything's been going well for all you guys. I know everybody starts getting kind of busy again this time of year. Those of us with kids, spring break is right around the corner. Those of us who are still kids, spring break is right around the corner. Anywho, as we're going through and doing all this kind of stuff, I just wanted to wrap the week up very quickly. Yes, I'm going to talk about the shiny object in the room for just a second because I'm not going to give this lying sack of crap a iota more attention than he deserves. But I'm also going to talk about what I think is extremely important. There are two bills right now that are either on the verge of passing or have passed one chamber of Congress, and in particular the House. And I got to tell you, we got problems here. Our big shiny object is distracting us from these two things. I want to point them out real quick. I don't know that this is going to go on the YouTube. This might just get uploaded to Facebook. We'll see what happens. Point being, here we go. Part the first. I lied. That does not make me a liar, Cohen. I lied initially. I lied about lying. I lied about the lies I lied about. And now I'm in trouble for perjury. So I'm going to lie again after it, not get caught there, think I'm okay, and then I'm going to come out to lie one last time. And when I lie that one last time, I get caught lying about those lies and the lies that I didn't get caught lying about. Cohen. If you didn't follow that, don't worry about it. Because it's every bit as asinine as I made it sound. I'm not exaggerating. If you go through the chain of events about what this man has lied about across the board, that's what it is. This is who the Democrats think need to be in front of you testifying about integrity of the sitting president of the United States. Yeah. That's better than good. Anyways, so he comes up, Cohen, starts running his mouth about this stuff, gets demolished before he even opens his mouth, he gets demolished by multiple people, which was great. If you haven't seen it, please look it up. Opening statements about Cohen testimony, 28 February 19. It's actually quite funny to see the videos on YouTube. It's great. So all these things are going on. This is what's happening. He's getting picked apart. And as it turns out, he eventually, as someone starts folding his game in on itself, it comes to light that he's lying to them presently and that he lied when he didn't get caught lying. What did that result in? Another referral to the Department of Justice. Guy's going to go down for another set of perjury charges. Charges, plural. Plural. I lied. That does not make me a liar, Cohen. I don't think I really need to expand much outside of that. Those are the cold hard facts, which is where I really enjoy delving into. I know that Democrats are sitting here going, oh, he's got proof though. He's got proof. Really? Day one, nothing was provided. When is he going to provide this supposed proof? No proof has been provided. None. Cohen came out, said Orange Man bad, and Democrats believe that's proof. Nah. Just asinine. So I'm not going to give him any more time. If you would like to have a more intricate breakdown of what's going on, including some interesting book reviews from the president, you should check out the president's Twitter feed. Turns out he has proof that Cohen perjured himself about where he was. There's pastors, there's people close to the Trump campaign coming out saying he's completely lying. He wasn't forced into anything. He was begging for a job. Just time after time after time after time after time after time after time. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's just asinine. And I think the best synopsis of everything, the best roundup of the whole thing, factually based, is actually Rudy Giuliani's response from yesterday. Rudy Giuliani's response to Cohen testimony, 28 February 19. Look that up if you're really interested in some bedtime reading or you just need to pass the time. That's my recommendation for today. Moving towards the more important things concerning this, because quite frankly, Cohen could get hit by a truck tomorrow morning and I wouldn't bat an eye. I don't care about the guy, period. I don't. Moving forward about these kinds of things, there are two things going on in Congress right now that require our attention, that have very quietly gained ground or even started moving into secondary, tertiary phases here, that must actually be addressed. First and foremost, the For the People Act of 2019. Now, you're going to hear that this has bipartisan support. People are going to come out and tell you. I'm telling you right now, again, if you're still looking at things solely from the two-party aspect, you're not understanding the points that I was getting at when we referenced the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers. The problem with the two-party system is that you no longer have representation of the people. You have representation of the government agendas. And too often those government agendas coincide and you end up with a conglomerate body of power. That's not bipartisan. That's not people being represented the way they want to be represented, okay? They're going to portray it that way. That's not what it is. And the For the People Act of 2019 is a perfect example of that. Why? Well, it's quite simple. This bill is designed to allow for online voter registration, which when we have people going out there and saying, yeah, we've got 49 people registered at this address to vote, both Democrat, Republican, there's even independents registered to vote here. We went out to see what this building is. Is this an apartment complex? Is it, what is this? The building doesn't exist. Now we want to open this up to online registration? That's a great idea. How many times have we seen recently major companies, major government branches, major this, major that, get hacked and people's information exposed, backdoor systems put in, gross mishandling of private information? You don't think that someone's going to hack this thing and start just making up voter registrations? And by the way, that in and out of itself, you go, okay, so there's more people registered. Who really cares? I mean, we already know the voter fraud is there. We don't necessarily need the numbers to pan out now. We already know it exists. Well, here's the problem with this. This also opens up the door for online voting for people who are not there physically to vote. For the people in the military who are overseas, mail-in ballots, if you will, is the slang term. Well, not slang. That's not even the remote right word. But you understand what I'm saying. These situations where people for work purposes or whatever the case who aren't there to vote, they can do absentee ballots and have their vote heard. They want to do this online. So you created registrations online. Now you want absentee ballots being able to be cast online. This is a horrible, 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 horrible idea. We don't have control of the electronic system we've changed to. We should be passing bills to go back to punching the hole in the paper ballot, dropping it in, running it through the machine that counts who voted for what, where all those votes go. Well, not who voted for what, but how the votes were cast. You understand the point that I'm trying to make here. This bill is bad. It's getting ready to go to Congress for a vote, and then it will go to the Senate, if I remember correctly. Yeah, okay, he's Congress. It's a California Democrat. It's Mike Thompson. I don't need to say anything more than that. That in and out of itself should be enough reason for you to contact your congressman, your Congress people, excuse me. Wouldn't want to offend anybody who's gender neutral. And get a hold of them and say, don't you dare. This is a bad idea. Do not do this. Okay? Now, the last one we're going to talk about real quick that was distracted by the shiny, or that we were distracted from by the shiny object. We being the royal we, used very loosely, because I know a lot of you folks at home, you're sharp cats, you're on top of it, you understand what's going on. You know that when the media is shoving something down our throats, it's because they want our eyes focused there and not somewhere else. You're on top of it, and I like that. It's good. That's good things. I like it. So you know Bartisan? That ain't right. Bipartisan. Background Checks Act of 2019 passed Congress. Yes, here we go. Yeah, bipartisan. What is going on here? I'm sorry, I gave you guys the wrong information about. Timeout, back up. HR 1 is not Thompson. Thompson is HR 8. HR 1 is John Sarbans? Maryland, Democrat, also. Pretty much the same person anyways, just on the other side of the country, right? I only missed it by, long ways. Correct that, strike it, reverse. Now we're going forward to Mike Thompson's bill. This is where the Bipartisan Background Checks Act of 2019 comes from. Again, anytime you hear the word Mike Thompson coupled with California Democrat, you're done. Here's the thing. What everyone wants to believe is the, again, bipartisan attraction to this bill. It's not. Is that everyone says, oh, it'll strengthen background checks. Really? It'll strengthen background checks. I'm going to drop a link to the text of this in here. And you tell me where this strengthens our current background check system. Because near as I can tell, all it does is make it illegal for law-abiding citizens to transfer a lawfully owned firearm to another law-abiding citizen so that they may lawfully own it. That's all this does. This does not actually stop me from going, hey, Mr. Criminal, career criminal, background in arson, grand theft auto, burglary, armed robbery, breaking and entering. I need to keep the lights on for my kids. I got a Bursa Thunder 380 here. It's in terrible shape. It's horrible. It was a garbage gun when I bought it. It's a garbage gun today. I've maintained the level of garbage on this handgun. I'm going to drop it to you for $150 so I can keep the lights on for my kids. What you say? It doesn't stop that. It doesn't stop that from happening. Nothing in here stops that from happening. As a matter of fact, what this actually does, what's really interesting, is if you go into paragraph 2, it actually opens up some issues with the government being able to own and transfer their firearms and that kind of stuff. Which, I don't know about you, after the whole Fast and Furious thing, not really trusting the federal government with firearms, to be perfectly honest with you, outside of the DOD. Everybody else, not really sure you need to be owning firearms. You seem much, much less trustworthy with the firearms than the people whose rights you are violating. Paragraph 3 isn't really all that important. Paragraph 4 is just more rhetoric. It's ridiculous. This abomination that is going through right now does nothing. It does absolutely nothing to keep guns out of the hands of non-government criminals. What this bill does is it actually makes it easier for them to move guns from A to B within the government so that the government criminals, because quite frankly, that's what 80% of our government is today, just criminals, it allows them to transfer stuff amongst themselves without us being able to know that it's going on. You remember under the Obama administration, when we went, why does the U.S. Postal Service have 40,000 firearms? What is going on? And the answer was, oh, well, they're just being moved from A to B so that they can get to the Department of Homeland Security. That's all that. And everyone goes, okay, it's cool. Now we don't even have that. Okay, now that's going to get. We're not going to have any clue what's going on, what alphabet agency has what firearms and what's going on and all this kind of crap. We don't have a clue now. That's all this really is. This actually doesn't do anything except make it easier for them to not get caught pulling Fast and Furious 2.0. That's really all HR 8 pulls off. Everybody in the media is talking about paragraph 1, which will somehow magically cure people being able to get weapons illegally, which, by the way, is already illegal. And no one's talking about the things that come after it, 2 through 4. Please take a look at 2 through 4. And this one has passed Congress. This bill has passed Congress. Serious, serious problem. This bill should never have passed Congress. It did. Now it's at the Senate level, will be at the Senate level soon. I don't actually have a date on here for when the Senate's going to be voting for it. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Point being, since this is where we're at right now, please, 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 please keep an eye on all of this. Pay attention to what's going on. Contact your representatives. Let them know this crap doesn't fly. Just because you've got Cohen out here parroting what, who was it, Cummings and Schiff told him to say. Plus good old Hillary Clinton's list of legal representation telling him what to say because he's such a garbage lawyer he can't figure it out himself. Yeah, I said it. It was a personal attack. Sue me. As all that's going on, we have to let them know we're still watching you scumbags. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You're all scum. We're watching you, and we're going to hold you accountable for what's going on. You have to stop doing this nonsense before you completely and totally violate what little remains of our rights guaranteed to us by the Constitution. That's it. That's Friday. That's it for me, guys. I know, short video. Honestly, I know there's a lot of other little things going on. I might do like a weekend rapid fire over on the Facebook page. I'm not really sure. I'll be perfectly honest with you. To me, so much of what's going on is just wag the dog for whoever's going to slip into the backfield of the presidential run. My guess is... I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think sometime late 19, early 20, Michelle Obama is going to go ahead and cast her vote in. Cast her name into the mix. And that's who they're going to rally behind and run under. Because, I'm telling you, all these names that are in here right now, these people aren't legitimately. They're just there as a distraction. They're not legitimately going for this. There's no way they could be. And other than that little tidbit, I really don't see any point. Wow, that stayed out of focus a long time. Sorry about that. I really don't see any point in discussing anything that's going on right now because, quite frankly, none of it's relevant. What's relevant is what's going through the House, and that's what we're going to stay focused on. So, that's it. I'm wrapping up my Friday. Y'all be safe. Be smart. Don't do dumb stuff. What's dumb stuff? Dumb stuff is stuff you can avoid. That's your safety brief for the weekend and pretty much every time I have a video anymore. Be safe. Be smart. Don't be a communist. And as always, stand by to stand by.